Oh, that's very low. All right, so hello everyone. My name is Manon Doucette. I've been using Sudowrite for 4 years, teaching for 3.5 about. I've been with them almost from the start, became an ambassador, a teacher, full-time writer, and publisher. This is what I do all day long is read, write, edit, and use the Sudowrite and other AI to help me out when I have a few block in my books. I have 24 books on the Twinkle Big Dream series on Amazon KDP. I have other books that I write with you. If you know that you follow my nonfiction series, every month we write a book together from the research to the outline to the writing the chapters and make sure it's a nonfiction book. So how we go about that. So I'm keeping you very busy, I think. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and get this show going and share the documents also with you. So this is the right screen. All right, so everyone see my screen with my, oh, that's my GPT. That's not what I want to show you, is this one here. So I'm going to share this document. This document has everything since December that I taught you. So from all the class outline to the 50 other outline, and there's more than 50, to all the outline I showed you so far, like the Hollywood and all the other one inside Sudowrite. And today we're going to work on the tree method, which is basically snowflakes method, the tree act structure, and save the cat beat sheet. I was talking with the system, and it says you should start with the save the cat, the tree act, and finish with snowflake. And you'll understand why it's going to happen that way. I may jump back and forth between the two, but I will explain a bit how it works. This is because the save the cat method is, how would I say that? Basically, you write your book as you go. So it's maybe possible to do some of it inside Sudowrite, but not as easy as the other method that we normally use, like the tree act and the save the cat version. All right, so did I share this inside the chat yet? Let me put this up here so I can see you guys when you send me a question. So if you have a question, please put it in the chat with
You
big
haven't
letter.
shared it in chat yet.
Ah, thank you. Hold on. I'm trying to move my screen around. Thank you for showing up. Let's see here. Ta-dam. Right, so I have my helper. There we go. And let's share this over here. Copy, done, in the chat. So you can enjoy, because I'm using the same document all year long, and I'm adding as I go all my tabs for the session. Okie dokie. So here the thing about snowflake, tree hacked structure, and save the cat beat sheets. So the snowflake method, the tree, and I'm repeating myself, solve different writing problems, even though they often overlap in practical. Like Randy Anger Manson's Snowflakes method is a pre-drafting expansion workflow. So per se, it's not an outline that we used to see. We can say, okay, I put the entrance, the middle of the show, and then the ending of the show. It's not like that. It's coming by an idea, an expansion, the character, expand the character, world building, expand the world building, and then write your first synopsis and expand your synopsis to your first chapter and things like that. This is what we call the snowflake method. And it's different than the rest of them, but it's a lot of author really use that. It is also used inside a chapter, the snowflake method, to make the story to link each other properly. That's why it's called a snowflake. As the snowflake go down, your story also go down and you write it step by step. So the snowflake method is being used not just in the outline to write your book, but it can also be used inside your chapter itself. And the AI understands the snowflake method. So I hope this will become clear as we go. Next, let's see here. It grow the story from one sentence premises into paragraph, character sheet into synopsis document, and scene spreading, and finally a draft. So everything I just said, I just read it again. Next is sealed field. The three-act structure is a macro architecture. Setup, confrontation, and resolution organized around a plot point, a middle point, and a plot point number 2. So there's 3 of them. Blake Snyder, Save the Cat, beat sheets, is a beat and pacing system. So for story a bit faster, a 15 beats percentage base map from opening image to final image. Analytically, that means Snowflake is strongest for development, the three-act structure clarity, and Save the Cat for pacing and market-ready readability. So this is the difference between the 3 of them that I put down. So 3-act is for big story shape. The Save the Cat is pacing and emotion turns. And the Snowflake, it's expanding the idea into chapters. So this is the main 3 difference and what each of those methods can do for you. So this you can read at your own time. There's a lot of information. We only have an hour, and I want to try to show you a bit inside Sudowrite what this look like. But there's a ton of information that you can understand what each of them do. With each of them, how to use them, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, with what each section do. So that should be easy to work with. And that's the structure one, okay. So let's go down a little bit, make sure I got everything I wanted to say about. They give you a lot of information and difference between each of them. But the fun part with Sudowrite and when I'm teaching is I want to show you hands-on, not just babbling about everything you can read at your own time. So hopefully that work with you too. So next thing that I've done, we'll go directly inside here. Let me see here. That's one note complete. Story outline using Save the Cat. This is the major one. Okay, perfect. So I come back in here. All right. And I did them in here too, so we're good. So first thing, the 3-act structure. I'm going to give you some example that I've done. So here, for the people who never been inside Sudowrite, just to make sure that you go registered, I'm sorry to do a step around. The Discord is under the interrogation point. Go inside, sign in, and find the our channel. And then you find all the video classes prior to this one that you can go and look at your own time. And trust me, you can probably look at your YouTube channel for a year because there's a lot of them. So for me, I'm clicking on one of the project here. And inside that project, I did some example because I think most of you know that lately it's a bit slow. So for us, when we're teaching, it's pretty hard to teach you because we get stuck on waiting for the generation to happen. So I have to get things done in advance to help inside that teaching here. So the very, very simple thing, because we're working on creating an outline, sometimes we have to have a few things done first. So all the outline are based on the same idea. So the same idea is basically the library that forgot its children. It's a middle grade magical mystery. And the premises is a sarcastic 12 years old girl named Nora discovered that her town magical library is slowly erasing children's favorite stories from their memories. To stop it, she must uncover who is stealing the stories before she forgets her own. So this is inside my brain dump. The brain dump is where you put all your idea and what you want to write about. So it's just this in my brain dump. The genre, obviously, is that middle grade magical mystery. I just copy it and put it here. With just this here, I did click on synopsis, generate a synopsis. When you click on generate a synopsis, there is a little star show which is going to show up on this side, and it's going to be sometime empty, sometimes it's going to go by itself, depending how it feels. If it stays empty, it's basically waiting for you to add some information in the box. If you don't know what to put in the box and it's still not going after you click on the little arrow, just put default. And you put default, click on the arrow, it's going to start writing the synopsis the way it should be written from the past. So he wrote me this synopsis. So we have 428 words synopsis. And the synopsis is going to affect the character, the world building, the outline, and the scenes. So we're clear on that so far? No question? Good. Next, I did create the character. Now, the character these days, when you say you want to create a character, before we just click generate my character, and it was going to town and create all the character. Now, when you click on character, it's asking you some question if you want default, or sometimes it's giving you a list. Do you want one or two, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 8, how many character you want? And you can go and choose based on this or on the story you have in mind. And if you already know how many character you want, you can say I want 1 to 5 or whatever. Click on it, and then it's going to go and create the character. And that's what it did. I said, I think I asked for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably click on the one of 8. So it gave me what it could based on this. It didn't go and imagine too much of new character for nothing, which is limit our amount of credit we're using in the same time, because using the character creation does use a lot of credit. And by being here, I want to make sure you understand that part here. To customize the traits inside your character box under the 3 dots. If you want, you can go and remove some of those traits you have, depending on the story you're writing. You can also go and create other one for some special story. So for me, I should probably go and clean it, because as a teacher, by going from children books to young adult books to nonfiction books, and then some erotica. So some of these doesn't belong to children, like the dirty talk. It doesn't belong to children. A few other things like, not sure which one I can choose here, the floor, the fences, things like that. Doesn't really belong to some of the story I want to write. So to save myself some credit, I should go and delete a couple just by clicking on the X. But it's not an easy decision to do when you write in all across the genre inside the month. But this is how you can go and save some credit if your list is too long, to make sure you clean it up. I wish they had the on the list when you delete one for some of the story, and they just stay underneath, and then you can bring them back when you need it. Maybe it's a suggestion to give to Sudowrite right there. So we have our character. We have a bit of world building. World building, it's the same way of normal. You choose what you want to bring inside the world building. For me, I go in chat only, and I ask chat, based on the outline, please give me the list of world building necessary to write the story. And normally give me just the necessary amount of information I need. When I got the list in question, I go in the 3 dots and I go to import, and I put the list of items necessary to create that story in here. And from there, they do create what necessary, which this one was only 4, which is fine. Next, now we are in our outline. Okay, now you're going to see how funny things is. In the past, we had a very fun things we could use, and we'll go into a new one to show you. So I'm going back and forth, and I'm sorry about that, because once we have an outline, I cannot show you the button I'm looking for. So I'm going to create a new one just to show you the outline that we have now. So the outline. in the past, we used to go on the drop down over here, use the custom outline. And in the custom outline, I could simply put down that simple thing here, like structure story, 15 major, save the cat beats. I could have done just this in the past, put that here. With the information he had on top, he was going to go and create something. These days, we have this. You click on it, it goes on this side. So I can say, let's see, default. There's nothing anywhere. See what it's going to do. Normally it's giving me an error message. There we go. This is the error message we are getting a lot lately inside the custom outline. Even if you put a full, beautiful outline, it gives me that error. So we're going to test that together because that's what we are here for, to use the custom outline. We're going to go get one of the outline I asked earlier today to be create and see if it's going to do the same thing. Because I was sitting down taking a break with my coffee and it says, okay, the AI doesn't recognize the title anymore. So what else can I do? It says I'm going to be teaching the nonfiction where we bring our full outline in. So I need this to work. So I'm going to go into the tree outline. The tree outline here, we have, that's the snowflake. This is the save the cat. And this is the tree act one. I think it's the save the cat I asked, right? In the other one. So this one here is a complete outline, a basic outline that I ask inside another program to build me one here. So what that was going to do is, like when I do the nonfiction one, I'm going to copy this one, which is basically the whole outline with the information in it. The whole story is there, and we should be able to have something. We used to do that in the past, so let's try that if it's going to work this time. So go to the outline. We're going to go inside. This is not the right one. This is the import. Which one is that one? That one is empty. There we go. That's the one. Okay. So let's go back inside our custom outline, shall we? So the save the cat beats. I'm not sure if that's the right one I brought in, but let's bring the whole thing inside of it. So in the past, we used to do that too, bring our outline already written from a different place or from our personal writing. See if it's going to be able to deal with that, or it's going to give me that same error. Same error. So something is happening with the custom outline. Is anyone else have the same problem with this?
I've not tried it recently, so I've not seen that, but I can try it.
All right. So now, and I did mention to Michael that we had problem with this. So my go around with this is the three dots. So in the three dots, we have the import. So I'm going to the import and I'm going to pass in the outline that way. And I'm going to let him work. Because this is the point, we want to bring our own outline the way we want. We don't have to be stuck to other template. And we don't always want Sudowrite to create our full outline. We want to bring our own in. And this is where things take a longer bit, and it shouldn't be that long because there's nothing else around. So unless he's telling me that everything is empty and then he doesn't know what to do. But again, it should, because everything is inside the outline. There we go. So this way, now is bringing my outline that I asked for. And some of it is in a bit funny way of doing it. You can go and correct these, by the way. Just go inside with your cursor and fix them up. But it seems like it brought my three act outline with a bit of funny again here, but it's there. So the custom is now easier to use inside the import version of the outline. So if you get this, let's check here for something here about my credit, which are going down at a crazy speed. Let's see if the outline cost us here to bring it in. So the importation costs nothing. Something about the chat. That was probably earlier than what I did earlier today, this morning, working on this session here. But the importation of the outline didn't cost anything, and it seems that he put it in the right spot. So here it is. This is basically the change that we have to work with is this. Instead of trying to do the import, and this one is basically the import, and that one is done in a different way. That one is there's no what did happen to this one? What did I put down when I did my import? I know we cannot go back. I want to go back and see what I ask. All right, so when I can go back and see, it doesn't show me. So when I passed it in, I said the tree act structure example best for cleaning. So basically it took this part here as part of it instead of taking it off. So the real part start at this one here. So by going back, I can see that this should not be there. It's basically not useful, so I can delete that. And Act 1 setup of Nora. So this way, again, that's why I put the word import, because I did try the custom one and didn't work. So I did go with the import. So this is the same thing here, a different way a bit, but it's the same story with a different, very short 3-act version of an outline. Now, we have Nora import, allow the edit 3-act. We are on the 3-act, yes. So this one here, again, on the 3-act structure. And this one, I did write a full story with it. And I believe I also got image. Did I get my image from this one? So we have a one. Oh, no, those are my two. Yeah, that's my story right there. So I did create a full story based on this one, 41,647 words. Sorry, it goes fast. And we have the 3-act one. This one is the allow edit. So what I did is I went in the chat, and in the chat, I did brought in the 3-act structure version of Nora with the explanation a bit, with the act, so the short version of my 3-act only, not all the little chapter between. And I said, let's do that. So update the outline in the story Bible. So he did this task, and it says, you got it. And then after that, I asked for the best POV intents. So the outline that I copied, the small one, I brought it inside here. So this is what I brought in. This part here is what I brought in. So the 3-act structure, Nora ate the old library because smells like dust, wet socks, and adult pretend silence, da 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 da. So this is a bit of a different version of what I asked, because I did create a outline, the 3-act outline on the side. So when you bring your own is how you do it. And I did brought this in, and when I brought this in, I brought it inside this chat with the allow edit. And with the allow edit, it gave me a nice outline. One more trick here. The 3-act, which is it that one? Is it the one who saved the cat? That's not this one. The other one is save the cat. Let me see here. That's the one here. Sorry, so I don't want to mix you up. So this is how I got this one here by using the allow edit. And allow edit, it cost, one of those is the allow edit. Allow edit 000. That one is the outline that was created, 1637. So it's not too bad for creating a good outline. And from that outline here, just showing you the world building itself, we have the same information again, random, genre, nothing in the star writing. Synopsis is the same. The characters are basically the same. The world building is the same. I just use my outline, put it inside the LR here. It did bring the outline over here, and we got 24, 23, 24, 25 chapter. Nice little paragraph. In my way of writing, these are scene. It's a scene each, and my scenes are normally between 1 to 2,000 words. So what I do with this, when I'm happy with my outline, which I already know I'm happy because I brought it in, I basically go into the three dots and I copy the outline. When I copy the outline, I create a empty blank document. And then in the empty blank document, I go to my draft, little dactylo thing, and I pass the whole outline in here. So I have all my 25 chapter. My act are stuck together under one of the chapters, so Act 3 Resolution, Chapter 20, with the title, dot, dot, a bit of space. So I clean it up, that each chapter is a beat. Or, yeah, a beat. Nothing in the extra instruction. All I ask, it says which POV is best to write this. And it says that would be under Nora, third person, past tense. And I use excellent, which excellent now is the ballad. I totally delete everything in my style box. And I got to say, the story is very interesting with a very, the three act way. If you look at our conversation we had earlier, then you go check how these goes about. Why is one method is going to write the same, everything is going to be the same, but because you change the outline, is going to give a totally different turn of event inside your story. So the outline is not just there to carry your story along, but it also, these are basically my Grammarly was telling me you should write that a different way. And my Grammarly is under the professional, not how to write stories. So that's what it's on blue like this. It's the correction that they want me to do. It's everywhere, my Grammarly. In the generate prose. We talked about that yesterday. Many teacher and student are saying the same thing. Why do we have these things in blue? That's because everything is getting written on this side, and on the blue, for some reason, this is how it comes out. And then when you do some correction, normally it's supposed to turn. See, if I just go in and make a small space after the dot, it goes black. So I have no answer why it's done this way right now. We don't like it. I don't like it. We see our story written on this side here, and we can barely move this side here to see what's going on. So basically now I'm writing this way. I'm getting this very small, and I'm using this screen to see what's going on, when the other way before was the other way around. So hopefully they're going to fix that soon, and we can actually read as it goes instead of being stuck in that box. But I got a very nice story written over here, and I'm very, very pleased. I was listening to it. It's very interesting. So have fun to try it with a simple idea and try to get those outline going. During I'm saying that, I'm also going to give you the blueprint. So the tree outline right there. These are the blueprint of each story you can use. So we have the first one, which is the three act structure. The second one is basically the save the cat. And the last one is the snowflake method on how to go about it with the information, always the same information of the children here. So let's give you this as I go. So we just did the three act structure. So I'm going to put that inside here, and I will also put them inside our class notes. So let me get in the class note. So we have the tree act structure right here. I'm going to put it right underneath here. So you have access this way. And then you have also the blank version over here. This one here is blank. Basically, what happened is if you have this one and you bring it inside Sudowrite along with the information, which I will show you how to do it too, you're going to be able to have a full outline under the same basic information. Basically, it's a blueprint. Any question? Did I lose anyone?
No questions right now.
Perfect. All right, now let's go with Save the Cat. Save the Cat, the first one. Which one I will show you first? All right, I'm going to show you this one first, the Hollywood version. So Save the Cat is basically our Hollywood version of outline inside Sudowrite. That's why she's showing us that right now. Why? Because when you do click on your Hollywood version, and I'm going to see if I can figure out this part here. This is the Hollywood version. So I'm going to go in the blank and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this, the porch. I'm going to copy this to show you exactly how that goes. Copy. So I just copy this outline that is already done under the Hollywood beads. But I'm going to show you how to manipulate that Hollywood beads. So we're going to get a brand new project. Again, we have 0, nothing here. We're going to go inside our outline. In the outline, see the one that says compared to Save the Cat? So we're going to use that Hollywood beads. Use this one. When you click on that, again, it goes on that side. That's where you're going to pass in your outline that you have. So you force the AI to take the outline under Hollywood beads on this, and it's supposed to go and do it. And you're supposed to say go, and it's supposed to generate you the outline properly. But you're just using the Hollywood beads, which is already there. If the prose deviate from the outline scene summary, can you regenerate? Yes, you can regenerate your prose at any time. Absolutely. I'm just going to let it finish this. Hopefully it's not going to be too long. And I'm doing that with nothing else in it. So it doesn't have to go around and think too hard. You should be able to just bring it in and maybe fill in some of the gap. And this is the part where we lose a lot of time when teaching, is the generation, waiting for the generation to happen. So I can stay here and wait, or we keep on going and show you the result. How's that? Show you the result?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, let's go out. So you know how that works, so that's good to know. So extract beads. So the result of that is basically the one I just copied, but that's what I did. I basically went inside and I used the Hollywood beads and I used the extra, which basically add the outline in here. And this is the result of this one here, which give me a shorter story of 15 chapter. And I think from this, I also got a picture and I wrote the 15 chapter too. So the picture, both story have similar picture. So we know that actually he knows that we are working on the same kind of story. And this one is basically the information I gave. This one is the result. So again, I took my old outline, copy it inside my scene box, and at any time, you can regenerate an outline, or you can regenerate a chapter, or you could go inside of this and fix them yourself. And as you generate, when you generate your prose, you can see that between scenes is going to have a pause or a little saying that I'm thinking here. So normally it's because he's doing the next scene. So during he's doing this thinking, you have the choice. You can pause, you can read, you can fix, then you can keep on going. And as you keep on going, the AI is forced to go back in the first scene above that you before you pause and says, oh, she made or the person made some change. Let's read that. And accordingly is going to fix itself to create the next scene to link with the first scene because it's not exactly what he wrote earlier. So he's going to go and read what you wrote inside the scene and integrate it to his thinking. And he's going to keep on going on the story. So here we have a 25,000 word story that I haven't had the chance to read, but it seems pretty good. And again, you have the purple and the black. So hopefully this will, we're going to get used to it, or they're going to stay one color or something. Then this one here is, this is where I got my image from, I think. Yeah, 300 and something words. So what I do for my image, that image here, is basically I take the synopsis. And the synopsis is normally less than 500 words, which is accepted. So I bring it inside an empty blank document, pass the synopsis in, highlight it, and I click visualize. And I got an idea of a book cover or a chapter image in here that I can use for inside my books. I really like the visualization when I create a book. Doesn't mean I'm going to keep the first one or the last one. I normally create a couple and kick bash them together inside Canva, which I did show yesterday in the session how to work Canva. So we're good on that. So this is one of those story for children middle grade that I did with that Hollywood Beats, Save the Cats mixed together. I can share this story with you if you want. There we go. And I will put it in a class note. So we are on the Save the Cat. Put that story right here. It might be a big mix up a bit in how I put those notes together, but at least you have it. It's there. Now, let's go back here and show you the other one. So, snowflakes, tree, snowy, Hollywood. Where's my other one? Snow, tree, crafting, tree structure. The tree outline, which one I will do? Import, or let's go with the import. So again, the import, I got all my information in here. Same information, synopsis, character, world building. And I did go in my three dots. I had my blank version, which is this one here, the one which is blank. We are on the three act. Are we on the three act? Which one are we on? Yeah, the three act. So the three act over here is the blank version. So basically act one, I copy all of that. And basically I brought it inside the three dots. And I did go import. And when I did the import, because it's a blank one and it has information on top, it was able to create a normal somewhat a normal outline here. And as you can see, it really goes with just the three act and the middle twist and another act. So it's a bit mixed up. It's not the best I ever seen, but it went a little bit what we're looking for. I really wish they fixed that custom one was working so much better. So, but it's a small one, and this one definitely has to be worked on. So this is this import with a blank one with the information on top. So let's go to the other one that I did also. If I repeat myself, because I might be mixed up here, let me know, okay? Because crafting saved the cat. We were saved the cat, 3-story, import Hollywood beats. We did that one, 3 outline. All right. Did I show you this one already? Yeah, I show you this one. Okay, sorry guys, I'm mixed up in all those boxes because they keep moving on me. So the 3-act story blueprint. What is the 3-act story blueprint? Let's go in our brain dump. Is it the one I did earlier with you? Let's get this closed down here. This is the blueprint. This is the one which is empty. Okay, I have to share that with you. Which I did because that's the one I brought in into the 3 of them. Okay. Did I miss any of them? Because if not, we're going to end up on the snowflake method. So the snowflake method. That one is a lot harder to work inside Sudowrite, and that's why I kept it for the end of this. The snowflake is basically start with a sentence or an idea. Inside Sudowrite, it will be more working in the chat itself. So you would go in the chat over here and basically start creating your snowflake method. So to create a snowflake method outline with the middle grade imaginary data, start with 1-sentence summary. So when this sarcastic 12 years old Nora discover her town magical library is erasing children's favorite stories from their memory, she must uncover the identity of the story thief and stop the memory from from forgetting everything she loved, including her own past. So the 1-paragraph summary, how we can do that? We can basically use this. We can go and do the expand, or we can go inside the chat and ask the chat to do a 1-sentence, how we said that, a 1-paragraph summary. So let's see. I know if you highlight, it's normally supposed to do it. So take this part here, the 1-paragraph summary. We're going to highlight this part, and here we're going to ask to do that. So when this is done, it normally gives you something like this, a setup. Nora Summer sorry, Nora Summer looks bleak after her best friend moved away, leaving her isolated in a sleepy town with distracted parents. Her only refuge is the local library where she discovers something strange. Children are forgetting the stories they love, and the books themselves are losing their magic. So here, what they gave us here. So see the similar kind of breakdown with a bit less information. This is the free chat. So setup, Nora, isolation, and discovery of the memory erasure. The first disaster right here, teaming up and uncover Miss Penumbra identity. So first major disaster here. Nora teams up with bookish twins Oliver and Olivia to investigate, uncover hidden passageway and talking books that hint in a darker force at work. They learn the librarian Miss Penumbra is not who she seems to be. So you can see here with the one which is paid for and the one which is free, they have the similar way of going about it. So this is how you would start working that outline here. So next part here, we're going to work on the character development. So once you get your step of your story, so the setup, the first major disaster, the second major disaster, the third major disaster, and the ending. Now we can actually go and do the main character. Yeah, nothing stop you from expanding any of those. All right, and this is how the snowflake works. So from here, we would go and do the development of the main character. So on this one, how would that work on this side here? I would create that, but I would have to go and give it some more to chew on. So the snowflake, if you look in the note, I'm going to do that first and show you in the note how that works. Let's click on that. In the note, where is this information here? Story snowflake method. That will be in here. We have a nice board which shows you how to do about it. This is the tree extractor. This is the learning, erase, save the cat beats. And we should have the snowflake underneath. Comparison sequence, opening, setup, printable. Where is it? I have a, my board is missing. Okay, I will have to bring it in. That's one for something else. Okay, I will have to find out where it is, but there is is that this one here? That's a tree extractor. I really wish I had it. Come on. Yeah, there it is. Okay, there's a nicer one that I will have to catch back and bring it in. The snowflake is basically commands best one sentence, one summary, which is getting expanded to one paragraph story summary. From there, it goes to the one-page chapter. But to get the one-page chapter, it goes back and forth. Then go to this one, then go back, and go forth. Do you understand what I'm saying? It goes back and forth, back and forth. So a bit like what her name, our German teacher, she basically write that way. She's using the snowflake method. She write and she go back, she reread, then she go and write her next chapter or her next prose. Then she go back again and read the two last one and then write a third one. Then she go back one or two and write a fourth one. So the snowflake method is that way. You keep going back and then you go forward, and then you go back one or two, then you go forward again. So this is how it works. Now, let's see here what he gave me for the character, if it work on this side for that. So the main character development. So again, Nora Chen, 12 years old. So name, a role, 12 years old, external goal, the internal need, the motivation, the main fear. So you can see here what's going on both sides is similar, some of it shorter, some of it bigger. And then the final transformation. And then it's going to ask you, do you want me to go for the next character? So you do the next character the same way, and then you can read back and forth, back and forth. So from the one sentence to the small idea to an extension of what the idea is going to be, like a mini outline right here, to developing your character. The next step is obviously the synopsis. So the synopsis itself, it's expand the story synopsis after we get all our character. Now you basically do this one, expand story synopsis. You copy this. Again, we are in the free chat. And then you go on top, highlight everything from your first sentence, and then click go. And from there, it's supposed to take everything it has and now create a synopsis, what we call the expand story synopsis, inside the free version here, which should be similar to what we have here. So you grab the workflow of the snowflake method to basically, if you look at it, we are building our story Bible. At the same time, we get very knowledgeable of our story. our character, our world building, because we're going back and forth, back and forth. Now we're using the AI totally as our helper this way. And there we go. We have our expanded synopsis. I'll try to figure out my synopsis here. All right, over here, expanded synopsis. So the expanded synopsis over here, so very, very similar to each other. Let's see how many words we have. We did a pretty good job. Whoa, you did better than this one. Look at that. We got, why doesn't it tell me how many words we have? It's how many words we got here. I'm going to bring it into a blank document. And we got 1,992 words of an expanded story or synopsis. Interesting. So going that way, I should simply take that synopsis and replace the one I have here so I can keep on going and work on my, so let's put it in this one here. So I'm going to replace this one, or let's see if I just duplicate. I'm going to use the copy. So this way my original stays the same, and I'm going to replace the synopsis here with the new one. There we go. So we got a fairly big jump in forward. So we have a big synopsis here. And then now we have a character POV summary. So again, you highlight this, copy, we're going to put it over here. That's giving us a POV explanation on that too. All right, so let's get everything. So if I was to go and reread everything and do it by hand, that would be similar to that. So I'm going to highlight my synopsis and my characters. I will not go up more than my character. I don't need to go in my synopsis this time. And I'm going to do this. And hopefully it's going to give me similar information that we got here, which basically tells you that the character POV summary. So Nora sees the world through a lens of impending disappointment. Everyone leaves, everything fades. Her, sorry, her sarcasm is armor. Again, carrying too much. When she discovered the memory theft is confirmed, her worst fear. Even stories abandon you. Sorry, I'm going to drink something. Sorry about that. All right, here's the result. Similar to what we have here. So just by going back 2, instead of going back 3, we got basically what we're looking for our character summary. So very, very similar to what I got earlier. So Nora sees the world in a series of disappointment waiting to happen. From her perspective, adults are distracted and unreliable. Friendships are temporary, and the only constant is the change for the worse. She views her own sarcasm as necessary armor, not as a barrier that keeps others at arm's length. These are very good information too if you want to go and get everything inside your character box. You can highlight all these things for each of your character and bring it inside your character box itself. So we have the POV version of the story here to give us now our chapter list. So again, chapter list, we go here and we're going to ask for the scene chapter list. We highlight this, put inside your chat, and then we're going back to. So we have our synopsis and our POV. And we're going to say to go and work on that. And that should give us our chapter summary here, the chapter list. So chapter 1 is the empty summer, the POV Nora, the main event, the conflict, the emotional shift, the discovery, and the hook. So we have an outline here with all the information we need. Again, chapter 2, the forgetting beginning, whose POV, the main event, emotional. Chapter 3, the twins, again, Nora. And here we have the result on this side, which is a bit different, but we have, how many chapter we have? So you give me 15 chapter for this one, and this one has 12. So a bit different information, a bit different chapters or chapter lists. So each time you're going to use it is going to be a bit different. It's never the same. We know that the story is similar, but not always the same. So we got a different outline here that I can go and check and say, okay, I'm going to use this one for future reference. So basically I have my chat over here. So I'm going to basically use the one we got here. So let's change this one here because I already have it on top. I'm going to use the one we just generate together. So I like this one too very much because it has all those little information. But let's see, we get this one here, set a V. Try to see if everything is there, if something delete. Okay, all right, perfect, we got it. All right, so now we have 15 chapter. Earlier we had less, and we have, it's an outline. So I could go and read it on my own time, or I will also copy it and put it in our notes. So we have a different outline, similar, but there anyway. Then the last part here is our final check. So final story check. I like this. And you build your snowflake that way. So let's go up. Going up to the expand then here. And we're going to say to go. I did go to, yeah, maybe more than 2. So 5, 6. No, I did go the right way. Good, so I got 2. So the original one that I did says the central conflict is operate on 2 levels. External, stop Miss Penumbra from stealing memory, and internal, Nora's fear of being forgotten and her resistance to connection. These layers reinforce each other effectively. The resolution require both defeating Miss Penumbra and Nora emotional growth. She cannot win without learning to trust and share. What do we got here? Still writing. I'm going to copy this. What did it give me? I'm going to bring it into a document so it's easier to read. So the final story check analysis. So the team coherence, the memory, theft, mechanic, elegant, in a literalized Nora emotional wound, her fear of being forgotten manifests for is as actual forgetting. And her arc from defensive isolation, communal, remembering give the middle grade mystery genuine emotional weight. She shares stories are stronger than stolen one. Themes resonate throughout. The villain design is Miss Penumbra. Avoid cartoonish villainy. Her wounded honesty and genuine offer to Nora create a compelling moral choice. So I know we have a bit of difference between the two, the original and the one that we just worked together. But we have a balanced structure, 3-act structure with clear escalation. Act 1, establish the mystery. Act 2, reveal the antagonist. Act 3, deliver emotional climate through communal remembering rather than violence. The 15 chapter count feels appropriate for middle grade pacing. Issue requiring attention. So it's giving me some information about how to be careful about how to write that story, the mechanic of the contraption stolen, the parental resolution, the best friends, the pacing, act one. So gives a lot of information on how to write the story. So from this, we have every single item we need to put in our world building, our story Bible. You can use the outline it gives you. You can create a new one. Then you can start writing your story using the snowflake method. So that is what I had to show you today. That was very cramped, and I'm sorry, it was very cramped information. I didn't even thought I was going to have enough time to show you the snowflake version. Which outline structure would you suggest for Rashomon type story, which consists of a multiple people giving contradictory first-person account and an incident with witness? Ah, we're talking about a thriller, sounds like. A Rashomon. Did I have that anywhere in here? Because I have some of those outline, which are very, very funny name. Can you explain to me the Rashomon? Rashomon. Or is anyone else know the Rashomon version? There's a lot of movie which sounds like that, but no, I don't know the Rashomon movie. But I'm very, very good with everything CSI, so that sounds to me a bit CSI type of a Japanese movie. Huh. So if there's a lot of people, frankly, with what I showed you with the snowflake method, I think I would use the snowflake method to go and get you. Great, I think I will have to go and check that movie. Keep that in mind. I'm going to copy this. Rashomon movie. Okay, my homework is to go and see the movie. I would put that here on top, so look at the movie somewhere. Snowflake method. There. I'm going to get myself a note. But the way you're talking about it, there's so many ways of going about it when you go inside the whole information here. Let's see. New project. Wait a sec. Why I break my head on this? Why don't we ask chat? Let's see. Do you know this story? Ever ask chat if he what he would use? Yes, refer to the 1915 short story of Ryonosuke Akutagawa. To many people associate the name with, okay, and 1950, the film which actually combined Rashomon with another Akutagawa story in a grove. That makes sense? So the story is famous for the narrative structure. Multiple characters recount the same event, a murder in the wood, but their versions contradict each other significantly. Each narrator reshaped the story to protect their own ego or self-image. Okay, act. What kind of outline was used to write that story? All right, so it's telling me the architect, the frame narrative, the author situation, multi people, the structural data. Why is matter for the outline? If you were to reverse engineer an outline for the story, it will look like 4 or 5 separate complete scene treatment of the same incident, each which conflicting. Who initiated the violence, what the victim said or did, who took that object, the emotional. So the resource material, psychological became a signature. Are you considering a multiple perspective structure for your own project? If so, the key decision is whether you want contradiction to solve or classic mystery structure, or remain ambiguous as the Rashomon style. Let's see. I want the Rashomon style. Yeah, I can go back and forth like this with Chat, Claude, or Gemini to get the answer I'm looking for. Is that helping you a little bit, Michelle? Good decision. The Rashomon structure requires some specific architecture decision before you start writing. Here's how to plan it. The core decision to make the event. What single incident will your character narrate differently? It needs to be the moral ambitious enough that multiple interpretation is or are possible. Your narrator, how many perspective, 3 to 5, is typical, more becoming unwieldy. What does each narrator needs to hide or protect? What is each narrator? A bit like changing POV per chapter. So when you create your outline, you will not go with the same person POV for the whole chapter. You will go to each chapter, have different POV to have what you're looking for here. That's for sure. So let's see. I'm going to create something here. I'm going to copy that. Going to put it into, going to create another sub for just the information here. That's interesting to see. So that will be the class question. So this, now what I will do with this, once I figure out how to do that outline with the Rashomon story version, I will go in, I'm going to go in one which is already done, the one which has that one. In my outline, no matter which outline I would be using, I would change this here to customize per chapter. And at that point, you can change who's talking at the first person POV, and you can choose the name of each narrator for each different version of the story. And change the tense if you want, because some of them would be a flashback, some of them would be in the present, some of them can be in the future, some of that stuff in Japanese, sometimes it's futurist too. So you can do every single chapter separately for every narrator itself. So this is one way I would go about it. That's an interesting version of or turn of event to be using this way. Is that helping you, Michelle? I will. I will check it out tonight. If I have a chance, I will check this and take a break from writing a little bit in my eyes and see if I can target that movie and look at it. Thank you for suggesting it. So, for me, we already an hour and 12 minutes in. I know we lost half the people because they have to go to work and things like that. I hope you learned something new and something fun. As I said, Sudowrite has a few little things to fix. Basically, our custom outline needs to be fixed and bring it back the way it was. That would be fantastic. Beside that, by going around the little problems, you can get fantastic outline. Everything inside the outline can be rewritten, change the way you want just by changing the POV and the tense, and simply click the rewrite is going to rewrite this the way I want for every single one of them. You don't have a lot to do just by changing the POV and the tense and rewrite is going to do it and give you a much more expanded chapter. I think the structure is borrowed in a lot of on Mystery Story. Yeah, I think so too. I will make some research on that, Michelle, and next time I see you online, I will see if I can figure out the best outline to follow this person there that you just brought us there, that Rashumo structure. I will do a deep research on that and see if I can bring like a blueprint to help you for writing story in that genre. You're absolutely welcome. So on this, I want to say thank you to all of you who shows up, my co-hosts that show up too. Thank you very, very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and let me know what kind of books you're writing. So fetch me on the Discord under Manon Doucette or Fireheart. You can find me in the French section very easily. On this, I say thank you again and good luck in writing your books.